everyone. We want to welcome you today to the We Are Flora Pearl podcast. I am your host, Latasha J. Humphrey, and I am so excited to get into this podcast today. But before we get started, we want to let our audience know that this podcast is being brought to you by the Flora Pearl Foundation, where our vision is bridging the gap, building a legacy. Our mission is that we are a 501c3, community-focused nonprofit mentoring organization, building healthy relationships and partnerships between women and girls through education, community service, networking, unification, and career planning. Our inspiration is Flora Pearl Humphrey. She was my paternal grandmother, and although she passed away in 2001 of a massive heart attack, what she taught me and my family was about faith, family, and community. And that is where I draw my inspiration from. Now, audience, I have the pleasure to introduce to you this woman who has a beautiful spirit. We met while serving in AmeriCorps about 5 years ago. She has such a sweet disposition, and she has class and grace. She is indeed a woman who knows where she is going, and she is not afraid to speak her mind. She is a force in the city, in her industry, and has a company that I have watched grow in leaps and bounds since I have known her alone. And I am grateful to know her. So without further ado, I would like to introduce to you Jestina Howard. Hi, Jestina. How are you doing?
Hi, Latasha. I'm great. How are you?
I am excellent. It is such an honor to have you with us today. And if you would, go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, I'm a 30-plus year veteran in the beauty industry. I started when I was very young in the makeup and fashion industry, which I love. I am also in the event industry as well, so I've worked in that arena for 15-plus years. I'm a daughter, I'm an aunt, and I have a host of great friends that are in my circle, and I love the Lord, and I love life, and that's just a little bit about me.
Okay, well, awesome. Well, we're going to jump right into the podcast, and of course, just like you were saying, and I did read, I'm going to read this quote from your website. And it says that Jestina Howard has worked as a professional makeup artist for 30 years in the areas of print, television, video, live performance, and private consultations. With years of experience and tireless commitment, she is a highly sought-after cosmetics professional throughout the country. And so, of course, we're talking about Aware Cosmetics and makeup services. And I wanted you to share, about that. And also just what made you start that? What made you start that company?
Well, being a makeup artist for as long as I have been, I just always have loved beauty from a very young age. And so while working full-time for Parisian corporate office, I was still doing freelance makeup for weddings and for ad campaigns and for corporate offices, etc. I had several clients that asked me after I would make them up if they had a private session with me, like, where can I get the product that you've put on me? I like everything that you've done, so where can I buy it? And I would make a list, and of course it'd be all these various stores, from the Mac store to maybe going to Belk to get Lancome. So I just had this whole array of list of places that could go pick up the product. And I remember one of my clients saying, well, why don't you just have your own brand of product? It was like a light bulb went off. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, I guess why not? She's like, just have your own product. And I buy them from you.
Right.
And so that really stuck out to me, and I started my search. I started doing a lot of research on how I could start the company, and I funded it myself by just saving my money from all my freelance jobs so that I could start the Aware Cosmetics product line. And so I've been doing it a long time now, and I absolutely love it. it's something that I have a passion for, doing makeup, but really starting the product line was to be able to further service my clients, and also to show them how to achieve a look that is not overwhelming to them. Because most women are not professional makeup artists,
right.
and they don't want to take an hour to do their makeup every day. They just want to look pretty and enhance their natural beauty in a very simple, quick, easy way. And that's why I wanted to really branch off and provide products that give them that look without it being too complicated.
Right, right. Yeah, and I love that too. It's amazing how clients, you know, they can really, they can spark something in you sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, like, why not? And, you know, it just never dawned on me. It's just like, start your own line. And, you know, at first, I'm like, oh, this could be a little bit to take on. But after I did, like I said, a lot of research to find out who my suppliers could be and if they would work with a small company. And I took my time. I didn't rush it. And I'm glad that I did it that way. And so now, here it is 15 years later.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask, because I know you said, like you said, you saved your own capital. You know, you had that, you know, and just like you said, you took your time, you researched. Did you give yourself a time limit that you would say, hey, you know, by this time, although I'm going to take this time to research, that I do want to launch it by this time?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I just really went with the flow because, again, I was working full-time.
Right.
With a very demanding job at that time, and I was in the fashion industry and traveling all over the U.S., and so I'm like, I'm not going to put that kind of pressure on myself.
Okay.
I'm just going to take my time with it, and I did. But when it was time for me to launch it, I hired an associate of mine to assist me with it, to do the PR and all that. And if it wasn't for her, my dear friend Cherie Fields, she put pressure on me to go on and launch it because for me, I didn't think it was perfect. And I'm a perfectionist, so she's like, you just have to go on and do it, and then we'll work out the kinks along the way.
Right, right.
You need to go on. So she set me a goal, like, we're going to launch on this day, we're going to have the launch party on this. So if it weren't for her, I probably would still be in my little corner, like, okay, I'm going to eventually do it because I wanted to just be perfect. And nothing's never going to be perfect. You just work out the kinks along the way and make it better as you grow with it. So.
Right. And so even in regard to that, would you speak to that person, like you were saying, even, you know, you were kind of in this space, I want to have it this way, and it took someone to be almost like a coach, you know, to say, you know what, we're launching this and it is as great as it's going to be right at this moment. But speak to that person who thinks it has to be so perfect and really encourage them about what they can do with their time for real.
You know, you have to really get into your mind that, okay, this is something that I really want to happen. And you can. I would encourage people to really do set some time frames, but not to be so hard on yourself.
Okay.
And while you're doing your research and while you're getting everything together, you know, you have to look at it and say, is it some areas that I know that really I need to improve upon with whatever I'm trying to launch?
Okay.
Sometimes it might be minimal things. Like with mine, it was just, you know, minimal things. Like I maybe wanted to change the packaging a little bit or this or that. And as she told me, she's like, no one else knows what you have in your brain about this line except for you.
Right.
You're the one that's making yourself crazy with it.
Right.
So just launch it and then let the public tell you how things may need to change with it. But it makes it just okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so I just say really, you know, make it as good as you can. I'm not saying to, you know, cut corners, but really make it well. But sometimes we, as the creative artists, will really get into our own head and say, no, it needs to be like this. And we'll take all the time just trying to make it perfected when it's probably already fine. And you just need to go on and launch. We don't need any more excuses
right.
to not go on and make it happen.
Right.
Right. That's just honest.
So save the excuses. No more excuses. Good.
No more excuses.
Good
just,
stuff.
As Nike says, just do it.
Right.
And just do it.
That has helped me plenty of times. Just do it. I was just like, just do it like Nike. Just do it. But yeah, that's
Right.
good stuff. Well, thank you for that. And I also, one of the things I do love, definitely, I see where, you give a portion of your proceeds to the American Lung Association of Alabama to assist with their mission. And so if you would share, because I'm just a big person about giving back, definitely,
Yes.
and just sharing with others. And so I wanted you to share with the audience kind of why that's so near and dear to you, and give more information about that.
Well, when I started Aware Cosmetics, one of the focuses for even naming the company Aware is to bring awareness to women about how to recreate their look and enhance their look, but also to bring into light about lung disease. My mom suffers with asthma. She has been for over 25 years. My father died of emphysema when I was 9. His sister suffers with COPD, and one of his other sisters died of COPD. So lung disease runs rapid in my family. Even my stepfather died 4 years ago with lung cancer. Thank God myself and my siblings has not had to deal with it, but it is in our family. And so I really wanted to bring more attention to lung disease. And so I partnered with the American Lung Association. I serve on their council. I've put on events for them to raise funds for the organization so that they can get more research done, and also provide services for those living with lung cancer and asthma and those various lung diseases. So it is a very near and dear organization to me.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. Well, we're going to segue into the topic as relates to support systems. And when you hear that word, Jestina, what does support system mean to you?
Support system to me means someone has my back. When maybe I feel like I'm about to fall down, someone's there behind me to keep me standing, to lift me up, to hold my hand, to talk positively to me. And I am truly blessed to have a good support system with a circle of close friends and family, and also associates that are not that close to me, but I know that are there for me if I need to talk to them about business, if I need to just get their opinion about something. And it's so important for women to have, and even men.
Right.
To just have that support system, knowing that you have someone there that you can talk to or that can lift you up in a time of need, if it's really coming down to that. And in business, having a support system is great. Like, I surround myself with associates who have their own businesses and that have become very successful, and I want to get to their level one day. But just being able to see them, how they started from scratch, from nothing, and knowing them doing that, and then to get their company to where it is today, just watching them and how they move and how they make things happen, also inspires me, and I know that they have my back too.
Right. And what do you believe, are some ways we can create, effective and efficient support systems for women and girls?
Being more open to each other. I know some women can be a little closed off, and I hear it a lot from other business owners, even they'll tell me, you have been so open with sharing information with me, or being open to assisting me with something that I need, whereas others aren't. And, there's competition out there, always going to be competition, but I feel like what God has for me is for me.
Yeah.
So why not be able to support and help someone else as they're trying to go up to the next level? Because I surely needed it when I was coming up, and I didn't have as much of it when I started my company. So I love being able to support someone else. And it's just, for women to have an open mind and just be caring and be Christ-like and just share. And it's not going to hurt anything at all.
Right. No, I mean, and that's something that I mean, I totally agree with it. And I just have never understood, why not share? Why not give that information? Because whatever you do with it, just like you said, what's for you is for you. And whatever someone else would do with the information, my thing would be, of course, not to be, like you're malicious about something, like
Right.
if you're trying to get it and do exactly what someone else is doing. But I just believe that even if they tried to do that, it still won't be you. Like
Right.
the way you started Aware and what you put into it, the blood, sweat, and tears you put into it, no matter what you shared with someone else, it still would be their thing. It would be different.
Right.
From what you, even if it looked the same, it could look similar.
Right.
But it's something you're going to bring to the table. And I think for me, most recently, I posted something and I was saying staying in my own lane. And I thought about that song. I said, she said it in a different way though, but Cardi B with her song that she has out. But one of the, when she
Yellow.
said, yeah, Bodak Yellow, but when she said, I don't care, who's in front of me,
Right.
because it really doesn't matter. And I said that it doesn't matter who's in front of me because no one can do me like I do me.
Right.
And I just think that, but I love that being more open because I'm so willing to share, and I love definitely sharing with the generation right behind us, and anytime they ask, and they're so grateful, for me
Right, they
even
are.
sharing with them and mentoring and things of that nature. So I thank you for that. I think that people really need to be more open, just like you said, and willing to really be sincere. And then we can move further. And I definitely, I guess, see it more with women, where we felt like we got to compete with each other, and it's not the case. It's like be the best you.
Right. Right.
Period. But on the heels of that, even dealing with talking about mentors and mentoring, have you had a lot of mentors along your path?
Honestly, no, I haven't.
Okay.
I've had, I'll say this, as far as in business, like I've sought after mentors before.
Yeah.
And some of them felt like they couldn't help me. They're like, well, you're already at the level. You don't need my help. I'm like, but yes, I do.
I know,
So
right?
you can always use help from someone else that has gotten to the level that they're at. But yeah, never really had a lot of mentors. I will say I have some businessmen that are in my circle that have been very helpful for me about how to be a really true businesswoman.
Okay.
So I would consider them my mentors. But as far as females, no, I really haven't.
Yeah.
I've looked up to women from afar. I do a lot of reading of women in the industry that I'm in, and I follow them like a Bobby Brown, and just kind of see their path and all of that, but not just having mentors. So I really try to be mentors for others in the community when I can, and I get a lot of people to reach out to me, and they're like, hey, I followed you, I see what you're doing, is it any way possible that, I can just shadow you, or can you give me advice? And I had a young lady with me earlier today. I had to do a makeup presentation, and I told her, hey, if you come and meet me at this location, you're welcome to come in, see what I do, assist me, get your information out to the attendees as well. And she was great, and she was really grateful for it. So I do that, and I also work with Holy Family Crystal Ray School as a mentor because I serve on their advisory council.
Okay.
I love doing that. And some other organizations within the community where I mentor as well.
Okay. Well, outside of, I know you said that some people were saying, you're already there. What other reason do you feel like, they weren't as willing to do that, to mentor you? Because I've run into that, so I wonder with different women sometimes. But I just wonder what it is, and you hate to think it's an intimidation thing or it's anything that's like that. I don't know. I wonder sometimes if even some mentors feel as though they're not where they should be, and you would kind of be looking at them maybe with a fine tooth, or you'll be really close. So do you feel like that?
I do feel like that. Even though I have been in the industry a long time, I still try to learn as much as I can to better myself and to better my business.
Yeah.
And when I had that to happen to me from someone that I really admired, and she, I don't think it was anything about being intimidated, but she really felt like, I see what you're doing. You really don't need me. What can I tell you that you don't already know? I'm like, but just, again, having that support.
Yeah.
Just to know that I could tap into her if I needed to ask a question that I wasn't sure about, or for her to give me some wisdom that maybe I needed going through a challenging time. And so I just took it as, well, God, okay, she wasn't meant to be that person.
Right, right, yeah.
So I just continue on. I, again, have a lot of associates that are business owners. I just tap into them. And so I don't look for a mentor, but now I don't. So now I just have associates that I know if I need to get specific information, I just reach out to them, and they're happy to assist. But not anyone that I can really say, hey, this is someone that is helping me to get to the level I'm trying to get to next, and it's really in my corner. I can't say that I have time.
Yeah, but it is really good, even from you taking from that and not becoming maybe what had been done to you before, that
Right.
You've changed it, and you said, because it's like you can sometimes in situations you can either be like that, you could treat the people like they treated you, or you could do something different. And so that's the beauty of it, that you really saw, hey, this is something I needed. And when, like you said, the young lady came today, she was where you said she needed to be. And then she was able to glean from you, and then you were able to give, to her. And so that's really awesome, that you're taking even that approach, no matter what has happened in the past. So kudos to you.
Right.
Good job.
Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome. And we're going to move into the topic. It's called Culture Vibes, and it's dealing with pop culture. It's kind of some trending topics. And so there are a couple I wanted you to tap into and kind of give your take on. One of them, of course, Rihanna just released her makeup line called Fenty Beauty, catering more towards women of color. And it seems as though evidently on that day, like that Kylie Jenner, she made a post on the same day that Fenty Beauty launched. I guess, advertising, maybe there were a new slew of products that she has, including some new shades and different things like that. And so the question then is, do you believe that's coincidence or culture insensitivity?
What I believe it is called promotion, and making sure that, Riri has just launched Fenty Beauty, which is going to be total competition for Kylie Jenner's brand.
Okay.
So, of course, I see her, posting something to people over here like, hey, I'm still here too, and I offer this or that. I don't think it's really cultural sensitivity. I think there's something for everyone, and I applaud Rihanna for coming out with this line with so many various shades of colors for so many different skin tones. Iman did that years ago.
Yeah.
She really did try that, and I see now, Rihanna is taking that on as well. But it's enough out there for everybody, and a lot of it is about just branding and promotion and, staying front of mind of people. So Kylie Jenner has her own target market, I think.
Okay.
And I think Riri is going to have hers.
Right.
That's just how I see it.
Okay. Well, perfect. Well, so the next topic is basically dealing with women of color, and on the heels of that, with the industry though, health and beauty, the number is like $7.5 million that's spent annually by African American women alone, and even on the heels of that, the movie Girls Trip, that came out in July. Basically, African American women supported in droves as well, and me personally, I had the chance to experience the Essience Festival, and it was a great time. And of course, it's us pretty much coming to Louisiana. It's like you're coming to New Orleans and taking over. I love it. It's just kind of everywhere. It's just love. I mean, it was just really cool. And so we basically show time and time again that we will support. If it's something that we really like, we're definitely going to support it. But I wanted to know if this particular statement, as it relates to big brands, although they're willing to profit from women of color, but possibly not standing up for women of color. And I just wanted to kind of get your take on that. Like, do you feel like that is the case? And just what are your thoughts as it relates to women of color?
I think the industry could be a whole lot more supportive of African American women, because we do buy a lot of products, hair and beauty. If you think about it, even going to beauty supply stores and buying products from department stores, we are big buyers. Yeah. And so the industry really needs to take a look at us and cater to us a little bit more, because we spend a lot. I never got why they didn't.
Right.
Especially with, again, we spend a lot of money, and you think, well, I need to really pay attention to this group of people that's spending money, want quality products, and don't mind spending on those products if they're right. Yeah. Now, you can't just sell us anything.
Right.
But we want it to be right.
Right.
And so I hope that it gets better.
Okay.
I really do hope that we see a change in that. And in some ways, I do see it, just, small changes. I just hope it opens up and gets a lot better.
Yeah.
Over time.
Yeah, because what I see, definitely like you were saying, it's like a lot of markets, they pretty much, they will profit, from us. Mm-hmm. But I think for us, I'm wanting us to even get more in the mindset, which we're doing a different, great job. I'm seeing different people, like you said, even with launching their own lines or different things like that, right. Or seeing a need and seeing what they need to add value to. And so, so that's a good thing. But I definitely am like that owning power, though, because although we can buy, and that's great to be consumers, but definitely that owning, teaching more of that even to the next generation, Right.
Even with the beauty supply stores, I mean, they're normally owned by, Asians. Why not more African Americans buy beauty supply stores and provide products and do it right and provide products for us, because we're buying from them. We're buying a lot of hair, a lot of
right.
and all of that. So we should have be represented in that as well.
Okay.
I really feel that.
Yeah. And so
but
with
it takes the time to step out on it.
Right.
And try it.
Yeah. And I wanted to know, how do you believe that we continue to make strides to prepare for the next generation after us, even teaching them more about that owning power?
Right. By offering, I think if there were more seminars offered in high schools,
okay,
I would even say elementary schools, to get kids to start to think about becoming entrepreneurs. Not that, and I know parents want the best for their children, and they feel as though, definitely you need to go to school, get your degree, become this or that, so that you have some security. But honestly, college isn't for everybody.
Right. And
there are great trade schools in order where you can become a cosmetologist and make more money than someone that has a master's degree.
Right.
Honestly.
Yeah.
And really having some people to go into these schools and talk about entrepreneurship and how you can have a nice life and living from owning your own business.
Yeah.
And not working for someone, and hiring other people that then will give them opportunities to possibly start thinking about owning their own business. So I think it really needs to start when kids are, young, so that that's a part of what they're thinking about. If they don't learn about it until they get into high school, it's already been put into their brains that, I need to do this. I need to, I need to become a doctor. I need to, become a biologist or whatever. Give them some other options. Show them that there are some great successful people out here that truly start their business, own it, and it's very possible. And that is another avenue for you.
Yeah, that's good. So basically, like you said, show them that there are other options and not just the traditional way. And that's a great thing, and And I believe that. I've become more of a believer of that than maybe some years back, because I used to think like that was the only way, that, you know, you had to do it like this to secure some things. You have to do this. Now, education, I mean, I'm a champion for it. I do believe it. However, I do not believe you have to be in debt. So I'm like, with all the money that's out here, all these scholarships, you need to pick a field that could be pretty lucrative. And I mean, as far it could be because some people think the arts is not this field. You know, it may not be you become a doctor or you're a lawyer, and that's great if that's what you want to do. But just like you said, it's not for everyone. Everyone does not need to go to college for 12 years. In addition to graduating from high school. Like some people, you know, because sometimes it's longer than just 4, you know, it's in addition. So I'm just like, you know, you don't necessarily have to do that. So I so agree, but I really have become a champion and I guess an advocate for not necessarily just doing it the way that we were told it should be done. That's just not the case. And just like you said, some of them, they will go to cosmetology school and make, you know, 6 figures quick. And I mean, in no time, and you could have gone to school and have your master's degree and still not even making half. So half of the 6 figures. So absolutely, I agree, Jestina. Like, let's talk about options, people.
And let's talk about options and showing these kids that, hey, you can be successful. Here's how you set up yourself for success.
Yes.
And it's scary. I mean, you know, I know with parents, even when I told my mom when I was young that I wanted to be in the fashion and beauty industry, she looked at me like I was totally crazy.
Right.
I mean, but she's old school, you know.
Right.
You know, living in Inslee.
Yeah.
I lived in Inslee.
Yeah.
Being a fashion stylist or a makeup artist. I'm like, well, I see it in this magazine right here. She said, yeah, it's in a magazine. I'm like, but if it's in a magazine, someone is actually doing it.
Come
this
on.
person is actually living this life. I think I can do it. She wanted me to go to school and become a nurse.
Okay.
So, you know, you could be a nurse. You're going to make a nice living. You'll be able to support yourself. You know, good. I said, I don't even like to be around blood.
See,
so
she said that's a no.
That's going to be for me.
Right.
So, I don't think that's going to be, but when I showed her that I was very serious about what I wanted to do and I wasn't playing around, she and my family got behind me 100%. They didn't understand it. I remember her telling me one day, if this is what you really want to do, and it seems like you're really serious about it, we'll support you, and we just got to believe in you.
That's a beautiful thing.
And hope this all works out.
Wow.
And so,
you really do have a
believe in me and what my abilities were, and that they trusted me.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing, though, because you really have, you know, still you have that, and had, you know, what some people don't, you know, where just unfortunately some people they don't have, where, you know, that's like, I don't get it, but, you know, I still believe in you, you know, I want you to be happy. Right. Sometimes, you know, even with our children, there's so much pressure put on them to do what someone in the family felt like they should do.
Right.
And it not be anything they're loving to do. So they'll end up leaving it. I mean, you know, it won't become their passion. And so we really, you know, even in addition to those options, is really seeing what their skills are. You know, what do they love? What they're really passionate about. You know, like Oprah said, it was talking for her and her grandmother. They'll be like, my goodness, you talk all the time. Well, I think it has served her well.
Right. And you have to pay attention to that. And also, Latasha, okay, let them, if they want to follow their passion, let them try it. And if it doesn't work out, there's always an option of going to school.
It is.
If they, you know, you can always go back and get a degree. I got my second degree in communications in my early 40s.
See? Yeah.
So it's never too late. I got my first degree when I graduated high school in fashion.
Yeah.
But I went back to school. So you can always go back to school and get that degree and then embark on something else. Or you can have 2 careers. I mean, for years, I've always had 2 careers.
Yeah.
What I have, where I make my true money from, and what I get my degrees in, and then what I enjoy, what my passion is.
I love it. No, that's awesome. Yeah. And that needs to be the message. And so I really do. I really pray that someone is listening and, you know, they get to hear that. that have options, be open and see what you're really passionate about. And like you said, you can always, even going back to school, like it's not just one way to do it. And if that's the consistent thing to say, it is that, that is not just one way. You have options. Keep your options open. So awesome.
Keep your options open. Amen.
Yes. And so we're going to segue into the topic. It's the weight and dealing with singleness. And so I wanted you to share, and talk about your life as a single woman of color, and how has your experience been thus far?
Well, I've never been married, and I'm 49.
Okay.
Turned 49 in July of this year.
All right.
So I've been truly living in my singleness.
Okay. Look.
And enjoying life. I don't think everybody's meant to be married. I would love to be.
Okay.
Maybe one day. I don't give up on love and all of that, but I'm still going to live a fulfilled life being single, and I think you need to, find out the things that you enjoy doing. Have that circle of friends that you can enjoy different activities with. If you're dating, enjoy that companion that you're dating. But it doesn't mean that you have to immediately go and try to get married. Just enjoy life regardless if you're with someone or not.
Yeah.
I travel extensively. I love traveling, always have. I'll go by myself, and enjoy. So you just have to remember that if it's for you, again, to have certain things, you'll have it. It might not be early on. It might be later in life. I feel like for my life, being single, I've always been a career girl.
Okay.
So I've been able to accomplish a lot of the things, everything that I said I wanted to do. I put in my yearbook in high school.
Yeah.
I listed them out, and I have accomplished everything except for the marriage and the kids.
Okay.
But I still feel that there's an opportunity for that maybe later in life when I would now have no regrets going into that next chapter of my life if that came as something for me, because I can never say what if I didn't wasn't able to start my cosmetic company. If I would have gotten married early on, I may not have been able to do the things with my cosmetic company as I did.
Right.
Because I would have had to think about my children and my husband, or maybe travel with him because of his job.
Right.
So I've been able to fulfill the things that I really wanted to do in my life, being single. And now, approaching 50, if it should happen for me to be married, hey, I'm ready, and I have no regrets about what I've done the first half of my life.
I love it. That's beautiful. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, because in one of our podcasts, one of our guests, she was talking about, dating and how it had been a challenge for her before she had become engaged more recently. And she was saying, there was some issues with some of the guys where either, they wanted her to be inferior, or kind of, so that they wouldn't be insecure. She maybe had to dumb down some things sometimes, or they wanted to control her. And so, of course, she was sharing how there was a balance with her fiance that, it's a blessing because they help each other. Like, they help make each other better. And so I wanted to know, how has your experience been, on each side of that, the kind of the extremes of both?
I will say dating in my 40s definitely is more challenging than it was when I was in my 20s.
Okay.
Because you're dealing with truly grown men.
Okay.
And you've had time, myself having time to be who I am, and I'm kind of stuck in my ways, they're stuck in theirs. And sometimes men will try to control you or conform you to be what they feel like they need you to be.
Wow.
I always say that, sometimes men like the idea of me, but they can't really deal with me because I am established. I have been taking care of myself all these years, maintaining my lifestyle on my own, not really needing the assistance of a man.
Okay.
So when a man comes into my life at this point, it's like, well, you can definitely be a companion. You can definitely be there. I want him in my life, but I'm already kind of developed.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm already kind of together, so you can't really change me at this point because I'm kind of who I am right now. So it needs to really be someone that can be accepting of who you are, where you are in your life. And that can be hard to find because sometimes men, they do want to kind of conform you and change you or be controlling. And if I see that in someone that I'm dating, I usually will exit.
Okay.
I usually will.
Like, and thank you, and good night.
And good night. Drop the mic.
Yeah. Because that controlling, no, my.
Yes. Especially if you see that it can turn a different way. Now, sometimes you can work with men on this just like they'll work with you. I mean, I still have growth too. And if you see their heart and their soul with who they really are, then sometimes you can work with them. It's like just tweaking some things.
Right.
Right now, this is how I am. And then if they're open to it, then it's a lot easier, but not just truly just being controlling and all that. No, it's just not going to work.
Right.
And women shouldn't stay in situations like that either because it's not good for their mental health.
Yeah.
In the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Emotionally and all that.
And because you have, like you said, you have lived, what would you say to a woman who, she's anxious about getting married and, she's not even really walking in her singleness? And for me, I had to come to a place where I realized that, being like in your singleness, it's not this holding cell before marriage. It's almost as though people, you tend to, think about, well, I gotta get to this next place. And it's like, well, no, you enjoy where you are. Just like you said, you have lived and you have enjoyed. Not saying that you didn't want companionship at different times or you may not have. That's not the point. It's not that. It's the fact that, I'm just enjoying me. Like I'm enjoying my life. And so if you would speak to that woman and just to encourage her.
Yes, get to know yourself during this time. Really take time to get to know you. What you like, what you don't like. It's so much to you that you can love about yourself. And, when you're into the things that you enjoy, sometimes you'll meet that special person doing those things that you're enjoying.
Right.
They'll be right there. But you're not focused on it because you're just focused on, I love volunteering, so I'm going to be over here doing this with this group of people. And then there's somebody that may be a man that enjoys volunteering as well and with his group of people. So just really get to know yourself. I strongly encourage that. Take time to get to know you during this time until that special person comes into your life. And then even when they come into your life, take time to get to know them. Because you might not like them after you get to know them a little while.
Right. What you said. You might not like them.
You might not like them.
Right.
So take time to get to know them, not just rushing into things. I never have, and I'm real intuitive. Yeah. And so I can pick up on people's energy and their vibes, and if I'm getting a red flag about something, I really slow down.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
No, Good stuff. Okay. Well, we're going to segue into the topic as it relates to mother-daughter bonds. And it basically is a series of questions that I would like for you to answer. And it helps to encourage more conversations among mothers and daughters. And so I just believe that it's a good way for our audience to get to know each of our guests. And so are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. Well, the first question is, what has your mother taught you about yourself?
My mother has taught me that I am a unique individual and that I can do whatever I set my mind to. As I mentioned to you earlier, she saw that I really wanted to be in this fashion and beauty industry, and when she saw that I was serious, she supported me. So my mom has always said, nothing beats a failure but a try.
Good stuff.
And she still tells me that to this day. So it's really telling me, don't stop, keep doing what you're doing. If you should fail, just keep trying. Don't stop. You know, you'll get to where you're trying to go. She also has taught me to be kind, because I saw her as an example of how kind she was to people and to the community, and how people looked up to her. So I mimicked my mom all my life, just by watching her, because I really admired her.
Awesome. So how pretty much did your relationship with your mom prepare you to become the woman you are today?
My mom is very wise, and she's always given sound advice, and the relationship we have is very special. I have two other siblings, a sister that's older and a brother that's in the middle, and I'm the youngest. And my mom and I have this really special bond. I'll always be her baby, even if I'm, turning 50. She still treats me like I'm 5 sometimes.
Yeah.
But she has instilled in me about trusting my instincts and truly just believing in myself. And again, just by watching her and how she lived her life and how hard she's worked, I had a perfect example in front of me. And also about being a lady. I mean, my mom was the epitome of a lady, and she still is. And so seeing how people reacted to her being this feminine lady, but very strong, I mimic that. And to this day, I get that a lot. Like, people will comment on, "You're such a lady."
Right.
I'm like, wow. And it's like, I get it from my mama, honestly.
Right. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So having that good example in front of me,
Yes. Good stuff. Yeah. And I mean, that's it though, but because you are, like, even in meeting you, it just reminded me so much so of, what I was taught, as it relates to being a lady and just being gracious and having class. And, and there's, it really is a difference, versus when you see, when you haven't been taught that. And so, so that it means something special. So Mom, that's awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah. So she always, told me, be seen and not heard.
Mm-hmm.
So that always stuck out to me. You don't have to be all loud and boisterous and all up in there. People will notice you, and you can be very quiet.
See, yeah, good stuff. Yeah. That's good.
And not to show your body. I could be completely covered from head to toe and still be sexy.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's about having class. She showed me a lot about being class, being a lady, and how to present myself as a representation for my family. Because I'm out there, and I want to represent my family well. It's also
absolutely good stuff. Well, what book most influenced you?
What most influenced me with my life is, I come up with ideas in my head all the time, and always have been that way since I was very young. And what inspires me are those ideas that I come up with, and trying to make those ideas come to life. So reading, I do a lot of reading, following different people that I admire, and those people inspire me. Like I said, having the associates that I've seen how they've made their idea of what they want to do with their life blossom and bring it into fruition, that inspires me, because I know that person intimately, and I know what they went through to get to where they are. And it's like, if she can do it, and I know her struggle, if she can do it, I know that I can. I just got to put in a little more work.
Right. And from what you said with you reading, what book influenced you most?
I read a lot of trade publications for my work, but also just for inspiration. I read Joyce Myers. Like, I have a new book by her called 20 Ways to Make Every Day Better.
Okay.
And it's great, and it has a study guide that comes with it. So I read that. One of my favorite books, Instinct by T.D. Jakes.
All right, yeah. Good. Good.
I love that. And it's one by Russell Simmons called Do You that I read often. So, yes, I like to read different books.
Perfect. Well, what are the 3 qualities that got you where you are today?
I think the 3 qualities that has gotten me to where I am today has been really being knowledgeable about my field, also being resilient,
Okay.
and just the follow through.
Okay.
I mean, with this industry, I mean, if you don't follow through and if you don't stay on course, you might as well just let it go. I mean, you just got to, because it is so much competition in the beauty industry right now.
Right.
When I started, it wasn't as much.
Uh-huh.
And now we have a whole crop of new girls, which I think is wonderful.
Yes, yeah.
That beauty is now really on the map, and everybody's a makeup artist, everybody's a photographer, a fashion stylist. It's great for the industry. But knowing me and also being secure with who I am and what my abilities are, and not changing my message of what I offer and who I am to those that I cater to. So,
That's good. That's good. What question do you wish more people would ask you?
What question would like more people to ask me?
Yes.
That's a good one. I would say if people would ask me more about my background, like, where do you come from? Because a lot of people just see what I have now, but they don't know where I came from and what it took to really get to this point. And with some, challenges along the way. Even going back to school at age 40 to get another degree. There were challenges there. There was a tornado that happened while I'm trying to graduate. I was a AmeriCorps member during all this time, so I've had some challenges, but all those challenges made me who I am. And so if someone would just ask, what's your story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That seems like it's really layered. I almost want to ask you that question, but I'm like, woo. Can you tell, like, what kind of, when you say what's your story, what is one, just that one thing that you're in this moment that you definitely can say, okay, this is, I want the world to know this.
I guess I would want the world to know that at this stage of my life, I'm transitioning into a whole nother chapter of my life. I've had a great career as a makeup artist, and now I'm embarking on another level of beauty where I'm getting my brand out to some other areas and not focusing so much on the service. So now I'm transitioning into really providing products in locations, and I'm just going to another level with it. So it's not over for me. I'm just transitioning into something else.
I love that. Yeah. And on the heels of that, like, so what is a goal that you want to achieve in the next 10 years?
The goal is to have products in various locations across the country. So I'm working smarter and not so hard.
Yeah.
And spreading the brand, expanding the brand, so more people know about it and what aware is and how to become more aware. That's what the goal is, and that's what I'm working on right now.
I love it. What is the last thing you've binge watched?
Oh my gosh. Last thing I binge watched was 90 Day Fiancé.
Okay. Oh my.
That show is crazy to me.
Now what is that on? What is it on? What station?
We TV, if I'm not mistaken, but it's about how people go online and find their mates that may be in another country.
Okay.
And they have to get a 90-day visa to come to the U.S. to be with this spouse, or they go to them.
Whoa.
And the whole journey. And it just shows you how sometimes people can be so desperate to find love.
Wow.
And what they'll go through. And what they'll accept.
Okay.
And then how people can use others, because it's not always that the person from the U.S. could be like all in love with this person they met online and haven't met in person and been talking to them for several years, and they go to their country, they meet them. The person of the country just really wants to get to the States to have better opportunities. They care less about the person, but it's a means to an end.
Yeah.
So, it's twofold. And it's not always the case, but a lot of time that is what happens.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. I'm about to check that one out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Crazy, but I binge watch on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, what is something that every woman should try once in her lifetime?
I think every woman should try to travel alone to another country by themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, because then you have no obligations to someone else being with you. You can go at your own pace. You can see the things that you want to see. And you can spend the time there the way you want to spend it. I think every woman should take a trip by themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what is advice you would give to a woman with a broken heart?
I would tell that person to, at that moment, yes, your heart is broken, and it feels like your world is coming to an end. But know that, we've probably been through this before. So if God helped you through it the first time, He can do it again.
Yeah.
And you just take the time to heal, and then move on. But don't stay in it for too long. Don't stay in that feeling for too long, because it could really damage you. You have to feel it, of course, go through your emotions or whatever you need to go through, and then transition out of it.
Okay. What is your favorite kind of food?
I love shrimp.
Okay. And if you could go anywhere and visit in the world, what would it be?
To Greece.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the most important lesson that you've learned in the last year?
The lesson would definitely be don't stop, won't stop, because challenges are going to come up no matter what, but you just have to keep moving. You can't let those challenges stop you from obtaining your goals, no matter what comes in your way. Life gets in the way a lot of times, especially when you're trying to accomplish a goal. Life happens. But maybe take some time, which I've had to do before. Take some time, get through whatever that life situation is, but then get right back on course to going after that goal that I've set for myself.
Okay. What superpower would you like to have?
Probably to be able to read minds.
Okay. And if you could talk to one person from history, who would it be and why?
Probably Nelson Mandela, because I've always admired him, and we share the same birthday.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. So just to be able to talk to him about his time in prison and all that he went through in his journey, and how he went from all those bad things that happened to him to then becoming president of a country. I mean, I would just love to hear him tell me that. And I think it'd just be delightful. He just seemed like he was just a great, great man.
Yeah. And just with this, that message of forgiveness was just very powerful.
Yes.
And love. Like, how do you do that? Right. After 26, was it 26 years?
Yes.
And,
how can you forgive? Really? Without being real pissed?
Okay. Right. Just a look like like I'm
Yes.
that's just how do you love on, and I know, of course we would say, well, Jesus did it, but it's like, and he did. He was like the greatest example of that, forgive them and being able to say that. But that's the closest, I think, with him and Dr. King. Like really, being able to know all these negative things. You're threatening me, you're threatening my family, and you have you basically, if you desire to kill me, you can,
Right.
And so every day living and not knowing if you'll live, that's pretty deep. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely Mr. Mandela. That would definitely be a good person to speak with.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll move into the topic as it relates to community service. And like I said, I know you shared earlier about, giving back through your company. But are there
Mhm.
any other ways that you like to share that you are giving and serving the community?
Yes, like I mentioned, I do a lot of. I'm very civically engaged. I'll say that in my community, and so I work on various boards, and I'm on the Holy Family Crystal Race Advisory Board, the American Lung Association Board, Hands on Birmingham Board, um, and a few others that I've been tapped to go into for 2018. But being able to serve my community and give back just warms my heart. To be able to help others that may not have even close to what I have. I mean, I serve with Project Homeless Connect every year, which is at the Caldwell Auditorium, and it's a program for the homeless to be able to get services that they need all in one place, all in one day. And that will give you a reality check if you ever get a chance to volunteer for
Yes.
that particular program, because seeing people that just need basic needs. And,
Right.
we'll complain, Latasha, about the littlest thing.
Yes.
And, frivolous
Quick.
things.
Yeah. Just
And here they are,
nothing.
just needing a meal,
Right.
or a haircut, or to get dental work done. And it's like, we have insurance. We can get that done without a problem.
Right. Well, I mean, just no thought about it. Just okay.
No thought.
Right.
Yeah. We make an appointment, we go to the dentist.
Right. And if you're not going, it's because you didn't make the appointment. It's not necessarily because you don't have the insurance,
Right. You don't have the insurance. You don't have an ID.
Right.
Just all those things. It really brings you back to, okay, I am truly blessed, so let me help someone else.
Yeah.
And I really do. I volunteer my time. I also give financially, and I encourage others to do the same if they can. It just takes a little time out of your day.
Yeah.
Find something that you connect with. Hands on Birmingham is a great organization. You can go to their website to see volunteer opportunities all throughout the year, and just find something that you can connect with, not just you, but your whole family, maybe your kids even, that can give back in some way.
Absolutely. Now, with that, I wanted to know what makes you choose, like, how do you decide? Because I know you say you have a couple coming up in 2018 that you'll add to your list. But how do you decide what areas are, that really touch your heart the most? Do you have a preference, or you just, if there's a need, you volunteer?
Well, it is a preference based on, like with Lung Association, that's close to my heart because of what my family
Right.
deals with. But then others, like children, even though I don't have any children, I have a nephew.
Right.
He's 31, and he went through the school system and all that, and I saw his journey going through elementary school, high school, etc. So I like to give back to kids in some way to help keep them on a path of greatness.
Yeah.
And then seniors, older adults, because my mom is 86, and I like to help senior citizens in various ways. So things that really are close to my heart is what I tend to like to volunteer or to give to.
Okay.
And then the homeless population is just rapid and it's all around us. And, I see a lot of teenagers and young adults that are homeless on the street.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And they don't have a place to stay. And they can't get a meal. So that touches me. And that's why I like to, work with Project Homeless Connect. And I served on the One Roof Board for a number of years.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll move into the faith segment, and it basically is an opportunity for you to share a time when your faith was tested and how you came through it, and it's to help encourage our audience.
Well, I can say one major time where my faith was tested was back in 2011, and it's when the April tornadoes came through our city.
Mm-hmm.
My home was affected. I was an AmeriCorps member at that time,
mm-hmm.
and actually was heading to a meeting, and my car got hit. I was in an accident that morning, and it just shows you how God works, because due to me being in an accident, it kept me away from my house, because I had to go to the hospital to get checked out, and while I was at the hospital, the tornado was happening, and so they wouldn't let anybody leave, so we were very safe there.
Yeah.
And after all that took place, they released us, and I get a call from my sister saying, you know, are you en route to home? I'm like, yes. She said, well, your home got hit. And I'm thinking it's just a few shingles.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mm-hmm.
Get there, the whole roof is pulled back, basically.
Wow. Yeah.
So seeing that, mind you, you know, being an AmeriCorps, like I mentioned, and being a full-time student at Miles College, getting that second degree.
Okay.
And then me becoming homeless because I didn't have anywhere to stay because my house was hit. I had to move into a hotel for 4 or 5 months.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had to live in a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to really trust God and thank Him, and I still do. I'm very grateful that He instilled in me how to obtain peace, and also knowing that all this is going on in my life, to be able to get through it and not like lose my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was a lot going on all at one time where I could have easily just fell apart, but I didn't. Thank God I had insurance, and the insurance saved me to stay in the hotel. And then my loft came open. You know, after the 4 months, I was able to move into a new place. So it all worked out. But going through those challenges, tests was really, my faith was tested, because like, wow, how can this all be happening to me right now? But then, just believing in God and saying, hey, let's just keep it moving.
Yeah.
You're not on the street. Look at all the things you need to be grateful for in spite of this stuff happening to you.
Yes. Come on now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
in spite of, I still had a roof over my head.
Yes.
Had a rental car.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I gave the Enterprise rental car company people a hard time that morning because all they had left on the lot was a Town and Country van.
Oh, wow. She said, what?
I'm cutting up. I'm like, I don't need a Town and Country. But you know what, Latasha? It ended up I did need it because due to the tornado hitting my house, I needed to move stuff out of my house.
Yeah. See? Right.
See what I'm saying?
Right. You mad because, right. You need a van, lady. Like, you just like,
you're going to need a van.
Right.
Going with the van. You don't know what you're about to walk into.
Okay, see.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I apologize to the Enterprise Rental Car Company because I did. I cut up. I'm like, I don't need this van. It's just me. I just need something to get around in. And true enough, I needed that van more than anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah.
That is deep right there. Wow. Well, I know someone definitely is encouraged by hearing that. That is beautiful. Thank you for sharing that and being transparent about that.
You just have to, keep moving and not let that situation weigh you down because it can be really dim. And, with the AmeriCorps, because you were a member at the time, you've got to make all those hours within a year.
Yes.
And, that became a challenge. I had to do a lot of making up of hours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then graduate. Try to still graduate on time and take tests. But I did. I graduated magna cum laude of my class.
Congratulations.
And all of that. So, yeah, it can still work out.
Yeah. And that was a lot going on. And you could, but you know what, with that, and I know, we didn't necessarily have, that type of conversation. We've talked about other things, but you had a sweet disposition. You always had a sweet spirit. Just a good attitude. No matter what you went through, you kept it poised. I'll say that. Maybe Enterprise did get the brunt of of what you were doing. However, when you got to us, I couldn't tell what you went through. So,
Right.
and I know all of us, at different times, like during that time, we all had, I'm sure we all look back. It's like we have something to tell what we even overcame. So just hearing that from you and seeing, what, like I said, seeing you and not even knowing that, that's amazing of how, and I know like we can have our moments, like you get to yourself and just cry or just have that moment and, but it is a way that goes back to even your mom, you be a lady and, this is how you present it and not to be, like it's fake or anything like that. It's just that, okay, you get it together, do your thing, get it together. All right. But you gonna come through this. So
yeah, just keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because Latasha, something else to layer on that whole experience, with me having to stay in a hotel, I had to move like 3 or 4 times to different hotels.
Okay.
Because the first one I was in, someone broke in my hotel room.
What?
And stole my things.
Oh my, you've got to be kidding
So I had
me.
that, and so I had to
Crazy.
move to another hotel. So, it was like layer upon layer upon layer of things that was just taking place.
Yeah. Wow.
But truly believing in God, shaking some stuff off, and just staying focused. It's like, I know what I have to do. I've got to get through AmeriCorps. I've got to graduate.
Yes.
So just because this is happening doesn't stop that stuff that I've got to accomplish. Just keep it moving.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, just like that song says, I don't know if you've heard it, but it says, "Victory is your name." I think you can wear that well, ma'am. And know that not only are you a survivor, you are a victor. So that's beautiful. Awesome. Okay. Well, we're going to move into our closing segment, and it's called Matters of the Heart Moment. And the first question is, if you have the opportunity to speak to your 4-year-old self, what would you say to her?
Not to be so hard on myself. Yeah. I have been hard on myself, I'll be honest. And if I could tell my 4-year-old self, just, don't be so hard on yourself.
Okay.
It would have helped. Because I put a lot more pressure on myself than anybody else does.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, who motivates you?
Honestly, I motivate myself.
Okay.
And also seeing others that, like I said, I associate with doing their thing, accomplishing their goals, that motivates me because I know what they've gone through to get where they are, and it's like, okay, I can't stop. I know what I'm trying to accomplish, so let me make this happen.
Yeah, that's good. Well, what is the best pearls of wisdom you've ever received?
I'll say there's 2 pearls of wisdom.
Okay.
And 2 different things, and both of them are quotes, and they were both given to me by 2 different people at 2 different times in my life. But the first one is the 3 C's in life. And you must make a choice to take a chance, or your life will never change. And so that really helped me with not only my business, but my personal life. If I don't make the choice, take a chance to change, then it's going to all stay the same.
It's good.
So I keep that first and foremost in my head, And the other one is become friends with people who aren't your age.
Okay.
Hang out with people whose first language isn't the same as yours. Get to know someone who doesn't come from your social class, because this is how you see the world. This is how you grow.
I love it.
And so surround yourself with people different than you is basically what it is. And you can learn so much from them, and take pieces of their culture and their wisdom, and maybe take it and form it into something that you can use. So I've always liked those 2 quotes. And when those 2 different very people told me those, it always stuck and I use them and keep them first and foremost in my head.
Okay. Well, is there any last minute piece of advice or comments that you wanted to share?
Well, I'd like to say that, if there's anyone out there looking for beauty products, please keep me in mind.
Okay.
My line of products is paraben-free, talc-free, gluten-free, fragrance-free, and they're not tested on any animals, and they're suited for all ethnicities, sexes, and ages. I have a variety of products from lip glosses, eyeshadows, to blushes, and it's a wonderful line, I must say so myself, and you can find out more about it on awarecosmetics.com. I try to come out with seasonal colors, spring, summer, fall, and then also holiday.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, Jestina, we want to thank you so much for being with us and just for sharing a piece of your world with us today.
Sure. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. You're welcome. And thank you again.
All right.
And our goal at the Flora Pearl Foundation is to always be a blessing to all of those that we come in contact with by operating with the spirit of excellence. We want to thank you all so much for listening today. And you can visit our website at www.florapearlfoundation.org. We look forward to spending time with you all each week, and we will talk to you soon.